Hi, and welcome to the Littleton Board of Health Wednesday, June 9th Zoom meeting. We'll start off with our 7 p.m. Public hearing on 23 George Street with Evan Carloni for a variance request. Hi, Evan.
Hello, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for having me. Would you like me to share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. All right. Can you see what I see? The PDF plan for 23 George? Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. So, so this site and this neighborhood, I guess, is known for the high groundwater. And so we ended up finding groundwater at this property at, let's see, a little higher in the site at 3 feet and then a little bit lower in elevation at 30 inches. So it was relatively consistent. What we have designed, it is a pump system. It is a Presby and the request is for a 2-foot offset to the estimated high groundwater table. So that would be a total separation of 2 feet to the high groundwater table utilizing the Presby system. It will raise the grade about, I believe it's a little less than 2 feet total in the low areas. So we will have a bit of a mound in the backyard, but it's not a mountain by any means, which is what we're trying to avoid by using a conventional system. We would be looking at something that's more in the realm of 3.5 feet, 3.5 feet, I believe. So that's the request, is to be able to utilize the Presby system with the 2-foot offset to the groundwater table.
Okay. Did you notify butters? Evan?
No, I thought that was only required if we had fill within 10 feet to the property line.
But that's not going to
Or if there was an impervious barrier, and that's not utilized in this plan.
Okay. And it's still going to be a 3-bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody from the board have any questions? Sorry, I'm going to sneeze, but I don't dare turn off my camera because I'm having trouble, so sorry.
I had a quick procedural question. I saw obviously your letter and your plan for the work for both of the hearings tonight. I didn't see an actual request, like the application for a waiver or a variance. And I don't see, like, perhaps usually the variance or waiver was granted in the name of the homeowner or the home buyer, but I did not see an actual application. Was there an actual application on file, and is it available?
So, right, I didn't know about the application. This is my first time before the Littleton Board of Health. So that's something that I'll keep in mind for the future. Is this something that I can turn in after the fact to, for this requirement, to satisfy this requirement?
I would think so, right, Jim?
Sure. So maybe it's just more procedural for Dan. An application comes in for the septic system plan reviews. And then when either the applicant or the engineer is looking for relief from the board, generally they send a letter in asking for the relief that they're looking for, and putting in there why it is that they need that relief. So I think Evan has done that. I wasn't sure if you're looking for something else, Dan.
Nope. I know traditionally that, a waiver isn't granted to the contractor; it's granted to the property owner, the homeowner. But there's no mention of the homeowner or anything here, so I guess that's my question.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe my letter states that I am acting on behalf of the homeowner. So, and the application, I believe the Neshoba Board of Health application does reference homeowner information as well. So when I sign, I do say for homeowner.
Any questions, Dan or Mike? Is Kevin or Gino in the meeting? Hold on, just checking. Yeah, Kevin's here.
Kevin is here, yes.
Yeah, Kevin or Mike, you guys have any questions for Evan? I can't really see you guys, so,
No questions from Mike.
okay, thanks, Mike.
Questions from Kevin.
Nothing from Kevin either? All right, Jim, do you have any comments for this for us?
As Evan was mentioning, this neighborhood is an area of high water table and slow perk rates. And so we were able actually to get a perk test done because it was up just enough. But again, slow perk rates, high water tables. Using that 2-foot groundwater reduction allows the fill to be a smaller footprint so that you're not getting within the 10 feet of the lot lines, which becomes really important in this neighborhood when you're trying to avoid, shedding water onto abutting properties. So I think the design, it meets Title V and the request is certainly something that's allowed by DEP in their approval of the Presby system. And the area is town water, so I don't necessarily have an issue with the request.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions from the board? Does someone want to make a motion to approve the variance?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance requested by the owner and contractor of 23 George Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, great. I'll go roll call. Kevin Baker. Dan Kane.
Dan Kane, yes.
Mike Zeldin.
Mike Selden, yes.
Lisa Flanagan. Yes. And Gino's still not here, right? Okay. All right. So, okay, thanks, Janet. So we'll move on to the next public hearing is 32 Adams Street with Evan also bringing that to us. 32 Adams Street, septic repair.
Yep. So this one's a little bit trickier and a little bit more involved. So what I submitted to you, which you've already seen, was this plan. However, I heard back from Jim with a few comments, in which case it led to a revision and a narrowing of the field. So that would be this. So what changed is the tank lowered a bit, and then the field went from 20-foot long lines to 15-foot.
Can you show that to us, Evan? Actually,
Yep.
Can you share that?
Sure. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Nope.
We see
Oh.
you.
Oh, okay. I guess I need to share again. All right. Share. How about now?
Yes.
Okay.
See that now.
Sorry, I thought you were still seeing my screen from before. So right here is the plan that you've probably seen previously, the 20-foot lines. And what I did was I actually thinned it out to 15-foot lines. And just like with the previous property, like Jim was talking about, what that does is this keeps the fill within outside of the 10-foot mark to the property lines. So it keeps it, there was no impervious barrier used, and we were able to maintain that at least 10-foot mark from the fill to that property line. The 2-foot offset, same as George Street, is being requested. Again, a wet neighborhood. We did 2 deep test holes and found 30-inch estimated high groundwater table in both of the test holes. So this system is being sloped down the back portion of the property. The existing field is within the fenced flat backyard, but I really wanted to try to avoid that because I knew we would have a mound and I didn't want to mound up their usable space in that backyard. So we went just beyond the fence and designed this on the hill. Let's see, the other request is to the approval of using a sieve analysis as opposed to a percolation rate for finding the loading rate. It was too wet. There was no way we could have run a perk that day. The soil was saturated. So we took a sample. I took it to Geotesting Express in Acton and got the particle analysis done. And then the last request is a waiver from the Littleton regulation, which requires the outlet T filter on the septic tank. And the reason for the request to waive that is because the Gravity Presbys, the manufacturer actually specifies not to use an outlet T filter. And the reason being it can cut off the airflow. And the whole idea around the Presby system is that air comes in through the low vent and then drafts through the system, back through the distribution box, through the tank, and out through the building sewer vent at the house. And what can happen is if you have an outlet T filter, that can clog, and then it can cut off the airflow from the field up through the system. So that is the third request. Third and final request.
So, all right. This looks like a really long lot for Adams Street.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah, I believe that it used to be shorter, and it looks like they were all lengthened down to close to the back properties on that main street there.
because a lot of the variances or a lot of the upgrades that are coming to us are usually the on Adams Street have been the geomat.
Yep. And those work great for a flat area. For a sloped area, really the Presby kind of gains there because it does slope easier than a geomat. A geomat can be stepped, but it can't be sloped. So if I were to have gone up in the flat portion in the backyard, a geomat probably would have been a better bet. But since we had the space down in the rear behind the fence, the Presby was really the better system to be able to maintain the landscape to the best of the ability.
All right. Any members of the board have questions for Evan?
I have no
Sorry.
questions. Yep.
It looks like Kevin has a question, Lisa.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just seeing like a thumbnail. So go ahead, Kevin.
The groundwater offset you're requesting is 2 feet, 3 feet,
2 feet.
2?
Yep. It's the same as before. So the full 2 foot offset. So we're separated from the bottom of the system. We're separated 2 feet to the estimated high groundwater table.
2 minutes an inch is pretty quick, man. Like too quick.
Yeah, no, it's not 2 minutes per inch. That was a sieve analysis. Yeah, that shouldn't be on there. I apologize. No, yeah, over here, the percolation test, we weren't able to run it. It came back as a sandy loam, so it's 0.33. It wasn't a sand material. That's a typo, and that's something I'll need to revise.
So what did it come back as? Like 30 minutes?
30 minute per inch.
Okay.
You're talking about in section of the section 3, Kevin, alternate design standards.
No, I mean, Jim will confirm that 2 minutes an inch is typically too quick to get
No,
it.
I'm just talking about the typo. We'll need to change that before we can probably approve the
design criteria per grade.
So, okay. Yeah. All right. Dan, Mike, you said you don't have anything. Dan, any questions?
Questions?
No. What about Jim?
So to answer your first question about the length of the lot, Lisa, this is on the opposite side of the street than all the other ones that you've seen.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
So on the high side of the street, the side that butts or lots that are butting on Goldsmith, those lots are a little bit shorter.
Okay.
Fortunately, this lot, and I think I've worked on a couple other on this street, they're much longer and they slope in the right direction, fortunately.
Right.
And that's, I think, what Evan's trying to take advantage of here to try to keep the homeowners from having to have a pump system. If you can get that system down the slope a bit, you can get gravity out of the house. You can serve the system by gravity. Using the 2-foot groundwater offset helps in that regard and helps keeping the fill away from the lot lines. So again, area of town water shouldn't be an issue with a 2-foot groundwater offset in this lot. He does have the right application rate there under the design criteria. It does say 2-minute inch perk rate, but it does have the right application. That 0.33 is for a 30-minute perk rate. So.
And do you agree with the outlet T filter?
Yeah, I mean, it's Presby has a whole bunch of their own kind of design criteria. My personal thought is if it clogged enough to cause the air to stop, you probably have an issue in the house. But Presby does recommend not putting a filter in there. And so in the Presby approval, what they mention is where there's areas that are contrary in Title V, you need to follow Title V. So in the case of a pump system, you really need to have a filter. In that case, they designed bypass venting to accommodate the filter. This case here, where it's gravity, Title V wouldn't require a filter otherwise. So I don't have an issue with it. It's a 2-compartment tank, so you should get some good settling.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the 3 variances using the sieve analysis, the 2-foot offset, and the waiver to require the outlet T filter for the Presby system?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Mike. So we'll do a roll call for approval. Kevin Baker,
Baker, yes.
Dan Kane,
Dan Kane, yes.
Mike Zeldin,
Mike Zeldin, yes.
and Lisa Flanagan, yes. Thanks very much, Evan.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Take care.
All right. I'm going to ask, is Alicia on yet? Okay, so we're going to do, if it's all right with everybody, to do the COVID discussion tonight before the rest of the public hearings. Alicia's not here and Jim is, and Jim has to get going. So if you don't mind, Jim, doing your COVID update now.
Yeah, so pretty short and sweet. I mean, again, the restrictions have been lifted. We haven't fortunately seen a bump in cases. Actually, they're still creeping downwards. I sent Mike some numbers today. The towns around us and Littleton. There were in the last week. So last week there was 2 new cases in Littleton, and for the 2-week rolling period, there were, let's see, just looking here, there are 3 cases. So again, the trends are still going down slowly. When you look at the state dashboard, the number of tests being done also seems to be going down significantly. I don't know if that's a function of colleges being out now and maybe not as much testing being done there, more people being vaccinated. So again, not the need for testing, but the positivity rate is also low. So all good news with regard to the COVID numbers. So.
Yesterday, the positivity was like 0.52 or 0.53, and I know Katrina said 0.5 is what we're
looking for.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry, Jim, anything new on the vaccination rate?
I have not looked at the vaccination numbers, but I can and let you know.
Okay.
Great. Anybody, and you're still up and running with your Pfizer?
So we did, unfortunately, the demand over there is low. So we did what is our last first dose clinic today. And so for the next 3 clinics, we'll do second doses. So on the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th, we'll be administering the second doses for the people we administered first doses to. Mm-hmm. And if we get the occasional walk-in, we'll do that. But we're not going to be doing a whole bunch of new. Our concern is, I think we had, let's see, 71. So probably maybe around 40 people sign up for the clinic for first doses. And that was kind of what we were getting with the Moderna when it first started. So that's really trailing off. So getting into the holiday season, the following week is 4th of July week, and then summer vacations. Our concern is that, so.
Yeah. I was listening on the news today. They were talking about the in-home J&J. You don't have anything to do with that because you have Pfizer.
So back in, trying to think exactly when it was, the state came out with the homebound program. I think it started around in March. And there were two options. You could either have the state come, your town could have the state contractor come and do your homebound individuals, or local communities could opt to do their own homebound. So we at Neshoba opted to do the homebound visits for the towns in the district. And so we've done about 125 homebound individuals in the district, and we don't seem to be getting any more calls for homebound vaccinations.
Right.
As you'll recall, when the state first came up with the homebound, it was a pretty strict definition of what homebound was. They've loosened up. They've loosened up a homebound definition, and I think there still is a state program. The state kind of took back the homebound program back from the towns, so I think it is still available that way. We still have some J&J, which we may, I think we're about 70 doses. We may put at one of our second dose clinics coming up, just because all you need is one dose, and that'll be a way for people to get it and not have to come back for. So we're trying to figure out ways to get the vaccine out. But again, 125. I don't know how many in every particular town, but we took them in. We sent messaging out to Council on Aging so we could kind of shake that tree if we needed to see who might be in need of a shot. And it seemed to work out pretty well.
I'm sorry, can I just add something to Jim's
Yeah,
report?
definitely, Mike.
Yeah, I got some info from Katrina earlier today, which slipped my mind, but here we go. This is in regard to vaccination. As of last Thursday's official report, Littleton reports 73% have at least one of the population have at least one dose.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the closest we have is Boxborough, which is 77, and the rest are all in the 50s and the 70s and the 60s, the towns around us.
Yeah, great
So
job.
we're up there at 73%, which is very good.
That's excellent. Do you have the state, Mike, by any chance?
I'm sorry?
Have what the state is?
The state, I don't know the state. All I know is that this is a Thursday report for the towns.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for that information. Anybody have any other questions for Jim? All right, go to your next meeting, Jim. You got
All right.
7 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, Jim.
Right.
Hey, Jim.
All right. Alicia here yet? Did she know? No, maybe she doesn't know she's supposed to be here tonight.
I spoke with Mike and Tim Mikowski, and he said he wasn't sure which of the two were going to arrive,
All right.
but I did let them, it was originally scheduled for tonight from 2 meetings ago, so.
Right. Okay. Should we move on? We're going to table the discussion on mental health services for Littleton residents until probably after June 23rd. I don't know if you guys saw that email. Joe Layton, I think, is important to be here because he knows what every department has to offer. He can't be here even on the 23rd. They can't be here tonight because of town meeting, prepping for town meeting on Saturday. And then I think he won't be around on the 23rd. So we'll kind of have to figure out when we can continue that discussion. Or if you had anything else you wanted to add to it tonight.
I'd like to thank Dan for sending the the experience in Worcester around to us. I put it through my ever trusty reader companion, and I suggest that all of you do not all of you do a close reading, but enough of a read to understand that it was quite remarkable. In spite of everything, you'll see that they do a qualitative assessment. And in the town of Worcester, city of Worcester, they only were able to get 61 people to participate.
Wow.
And on the quantitative side, they used two available databases. And I don't know, Dan, we're not going to have a discussion. I just wonder, have you explored those databases yourself?
I have not. No, I saw that there was actually some state level data gets granular enough for communities. I have not dug into it yet, I'll be honest.
Okay, if you get a chance, go to the website for it and dig in. I'd like to have as a board member, I'd like to have your your eyes on that, because I'm more used to, shall we say, data that comes from other kind of disease areas. This one's a little bit, for me, it feels shaky, but I don't know why.
But that's, I know we're not having a discussion, but that's part of the nature of qualitative research in general. But 61 is pretty good for a qualitative study. But it's mental health, and it's a community health assessment is hard when you're looking at something a little bit more esoteric. We can look at exact percentages for immunization rates or disease incidences, but this is a mental health, any of these softer sciences, it's a lot harder to get those hard numbers that I'm a critical care person that I love. I want down to the 10th of a cc when I'm measuring something, and that's not what goes along with this piece of it. I actually found, for those who don't know, as we were looking at community health assessment, just basically took an example that the city of Worcester did a few years ago, and utilizing the vast resources that exist in the city and multiple partners to look at what some resources are. I shared it with the board merely as here's an example of a process, because that was one good thing about the report, is that it really walked it through. It wasn't just here's what we found. It walked through its process of how did we start the process, how did we identify data, how do we identify populations to examine, and resources, community partners to find information. And even with all the resources in colleges and medical centers in the city, that their data is still, I don't want to say shaky because it's solid. It's just doesn't necessarily have the p-value that the harder science folks would like to see. There's no P0005 for this population.
I wasn't trying to disparage it. I was noting the difficulty, and it fitted in with another scenario which we can take up at another time. Not necessary. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Hi, Gino.
Hello, young lady.
All right. Correspondence, we'll move on since I don't see Alicia in here yet. Kevin, you sent out that thing with the State House invite. Did anybody go? It was today. I can't do anything during the week, so I
was hoping that Kevin would have gone, because I would have gone with him, but I guess he couldn't go.
Sorry, Gino, I couldn't go today.
I understand. Next time, just let me know, I was ready, waiting for you and everything. I forgive you.
I don't know if this is correspondence, but I did listen to that ag video that was sent to us. I'm just wondering, is something that we should have a joint meeting with the AgCom, or just let them know that we've listened to it, or we know that there's a change and that we're willing to work with them?
I don't even know if they know it exists.
That's what they were saying in the video, that it's, made up of, and this is their growing season too, so they might not even, be available to meet, so.
You never know. There's
I don't know if they know that the law even exists. I mean, I don't know what they know, the Ag Commission here in town.
All right, I'll try and get in touch with them and see if they want to even talk to us about it.
Or just let them know that, that we're happy to cooperate with them along the lines that
exactly.
the legislature has suggested. And
yep. Some more information I got was a abandoned from the Central Mass Mosquito Control Program. I think maybe we can put this on our website. There is a service or one-time treatment per year, is all that's necessary, of treating abandoned swimming pools to reduce the amount of larva mosquito. So I thought that was interesting. I think you sent that to me, Janet. So if we can put that on the website for our town, that would be good. And then I I did get an email from Ashley and her coworker Marge Payne, who is interested in, joining us on the mental health discussion. But the most recent that I got today was a nice little thing. Where did I put it? So, you guys probably know that the water department is building a new water treatment system over on Whitcomb Ave, and I'll read an email. I'll forward it to you. But Nick Lawler from Littleton Light and Water invited us, the Board of Health, to the groundbreaking ceremony for their PFAS filtration plant. The event will take place on Wednesday, June 16th at 11:30. The Board of Health is such a strong partner with us on this important issue, maintaining our mission of providing safe, clean, and reliable drinking water to our community. Just please confirm that if anybody's going to be in attendance. And I heard that the head of DEP, head of Mass Waterworks, Arciero, Eldridge, Baker, and Polito were invited. So we're invited too. I can't go during the week, but if you guys are interested in going, I'll
I
send the
think the
email out.
vice chair ought to be assigned the task of going.
Vice chair, represent. We need somebody to represent.
Is there a free lunch?
I don't know.
I'd like to go too. Stay with you guys.
Now that we have a
I'll
vice
be there.
chair, that's his job.
Yep, there you go.
But anybody was invited. So
Cool, thank you.
I will.
Where they're gonna meet? Where they're gonna meet?
I will send you the email, or
Thank you.
I'll have Janet send you guys the email, and then you guys can
Thank you so much.
reply to her and let her know if you'll be attending.
Yeah, Wickham, right.
Would you mind doing that, Janet? Do you mind being our RSVP? All right. Anybody else? Sorry, go ahead.
I
Day,
like to go.
audience, if you're ready.
All right, we're gonna skip back to Alicia, guys, for the Park and Rec and Community Education Special Events. Hi, Alicia.
Is she there?
There she is.
I am here. Good evening.
Oh,
How are
good
you?
How's everyone doing?
Great.
That is good to hear.
evening. Okay, good.
So I think we originally thought we were going to be on the previous Board of Board of Health meeting. So I apologize for being a little bit late for this meeting. As we're kind of going into this new world of the executive orders being dissolved on June 15th. We have as of the last week, been told that when we go through the process of special events, that, we should kind of go through the process of speaking with the Park Commission, and then the final say on our special events would be with the Select Board. Just as a heads up, we are looking at trying to do third Thursday starting in July. June is entirely too soon for us to consider doing anything at this point in time. So if it is possible, clearly we want to make sure that we're doing it in the safest way possible. And again, delaying it just because, we're just starting all of this and we don't know what's going to happen with the numbers with COVID. So we just want to be really cautious. If it's possible, if the numbers are looking good, we would look to start doing a third Thursday just to get some of the local businesses, a little bit more interaction with the public and hopefully, help them out a little bit. That's typically what third Thursdays are, is sort of spotlighting our local businesses and trying to, connect them with the residents and surrounding communities. For the summer, those are the only two that we are looking at this time would be, I believe it is, let me look at my calendar really quick. I want to give you the right dates, not speculated dates. So we would be looking at July 15th as the first third Thursday, if it's possible. That's a lot for us to kind of turn around and try to make something happen. We've definitely done things in the past like that, so I know we're capable of doing so. But we'll do it if it's amenable. And then August 19th would be that second date. So I just kind of wanted to, let the Board of Health know that that's something that we were looking at doing this summer. And, if there's any questions or any suggestions, we're open to that as well.
What is going to be July 15? Where?
At Fate Park, so
Okay.
outside. Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you get exhibitors? Do you how do you advertise for them?
We've done it in a lot of different ways. It's going to be interesting to see, if we even will get people. We may not, right?
Yeah.
So in the past, we usually would advertise it on Facebook. When pre-COVID, we had groups of people that, we knew and would come back every year. That's why I say July is a little bit of a heavy ask. We're going to try to do it because that means we have to get in touch with some of the local businesses that, unfortunately may not still be around. And hopefully we can find some local businesses that maybe we're able to start up. It might be a little bit of work to get it done, but we're definitely the crew of people that can make that happen.
I just listened to a meeting, and it's about agriculture. You guys should, maybe think about doing like a farm, like mini farmers market, or get some of the farms in town involved too.
So we do. In the past, we've had a few different farms that would come and sell vegetables at their Thursday. I think even Jamie from Springdale would bring down some of the goats and sheep.
Yeah, the animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any concerns, Alicia, about other than the logistics of getting it going?
Like I said earlier, I'm in that place of, I'm vaccinated. We have all of our staff is, but you kind of have to play that guessing game of, the person that's not wearing the mask, are they or aren't they, But, I've had some conversations specifically with Fire Chief, and, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable about doing events outdoors. It does sound like the transmission rate when it comes to outdoor is very, very, very low. And so indoors, I'm not comfortable doing some sort of event like that yet, but outdoors, I definitely have asked a lot of questions, and I feel at this point in time that, we would encourage people to wear masks just to be safe. I honestly at this time feel pretty good about it.
Is that your plan, to request that folks on entering the Fay Park area will have masks on?
Well, we would just say, kind of like we've done with camp. So one of the changes that we did with camp, so technically the kids don't necessarily have to wear masks. However, because we want to be inclusive of what some of the parents' wishes may be, we have created a form, and it says that, if you want your child to wear a mask at all times, tell us and we'll make sure that they do. If you want your child to wear a mask indoors and not outdoors, we will do that. If you don't want your child to wear a mask at all, we'll do that as well. And all of our staff is vaccinated. If they are not, then it is mandatory for them to wear a mask when they're working with the children.
Yeah. The key thing you just mentioned is your staff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's key.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have been on top of that, and that is, the biggest safety piece for us. So, the kids that we work with, a fair amount of them, can't get the vaccine yet. So we're taking every precaution that we can to keep them safe.
I personally don't see anything here other than, a friendly gesture of making masks available than if people want them when they enter the area, but that's maybe, maybe even that's too much. So
We can ask, it's just, or at least putting some signage up that, respect others if they choose to wear it. If you aren't vaccinated, we would ask that you do that. But you're right, we can't request anything of anyone at this point in time.
yeah.
Or
it's,
at that point in time, I should say, because it would be July.
Yeah, interesting enough, it's the people who haven't been vaccinated they're the most vulnerable, obviously.
Yeah.
So they probably go, a lot of people who don't, or hesitant, or vaccination hesitant, don't like to wear the masks either. So it's sort of double whammy, but but the vaccine works, so your staff is good.
Yep.
Just make sure Kaz wears the mask all the time,
He's vaccinated.
regardless.
Maybe it'll stop him speaking so much. Just kidding. Gino, you're on mute. I can't hear you. I see you talking.
He has his mask on.
I think Michael cut me off. Right, Mike?
Yep, I try.
Okay, I've been vaccinated, so if you want me to bring my passport, I'll put it on my neck. I will not wear my mask on July 15th, period. Okay, I've been vaccinated, and I was negative twice, and the doctor says, Gino, not to worry, you don't have to wear it because you're being vaccinated twice.
I love it, Gino. You're good. You're set. We won't have any conversations with you.
Thank you. July 15, it's a long way from June 15. The governor's going to say, open up everything.
I hope so. I hope we are trending that way, but if we're not, then we'll do the right thing at that time. And
I understand. If nobody was vaccinated, they should wear a mask.
yeah, yep.
Like Mike says, someone don't like to be vaccinated. But if they're not vaccinated, he said, look, there is a mask you can wear it. And if you are not vaccinated, you're not welcome. Very simple.
Yeah.
That's it. You might lose some customers, but it's better to lose customers than have somebody sick. Am I right, Mike?
I'm sorry, Gino. Run-on sentences are not my forte.
You never say yes when I ask you a question. You always say no. Okay, I got you.
Yet.
Alicia, will you come back to us regarding Camp T, or is Camp T moving forward pretty?
Yeah.
We did well last year.
Yeah, so we had started with the policies that we were given by the Commonwealth and the communications that we've had with Jim Gareffi going through our licensure. We've amended the policies so that they are essentially what I told you. So we are still going to follow procedures as we did last year. So if any of the children display any of the symptoms, then they would be in isolation with the nurse, and we would send them home and would ask for a test to clear them to come back. So all of those things are still the same and still in place, as well as our disinfecting policies as well. So the only big change is that instead of requiring the kids to wear a mask, then we're asking the parents what their level of comfort is.
Do they have to wear masks when they're inside, though?
They do not.
They don't. Okay.
No.
All right. All right. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Alicia? All right.
Thank you.
Good luck with those.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're glad to do it.
So exciting that you get to go back to do what you do. So
I
great.
certainly hope so. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
All right. So we'll go back to correspondence. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add?
Everything is fine.
All right. Any member comments? Go ahead, Dan.
Sorry, just a quick one for anybody who has gotten a vaccination or waiting for vaccination number 2 at one of the mass vaccination sites, the large areas. Most of those are closing within the next week or so. So if you still are either waiting for your first or waiting for your second, you may not be able to go back to where you got your first one, but any place who does vaccinations will be able to provide you your either a first vaccination or a second. So it's gone to smaller places like the CVS's and Walmart or Walgreens and those places, and some clinics and stuff. I know Lowell General will be doing it at the hospital rather than their large center. So don't be afraid if you hear places are closing. Vaccinations are still available if you need them. It's just going to be a little bit smaller than we've had lately.
Yeah. Dan, do you know what they do for the second vaccine if you go into a different site? Do you just have to show your card, or do you have to, or is it, I'm sure they have a computer database somewhere with that. So
I don't know if you show your card, because the card will have what type you had, so that
Right.
yes, you may want to, if you are going someplace other than where you got your first dose, you may just want to make a phone call to make sure that they have the same one. So if you go into, we'll pick CVS only because it's a big name. You know, they may not have, you got Moderna, they may only have Pfizer today, that one. So just double check. But any place who's providing vaccination should be able to take care of you, but just double check, make sure, and just bring your card.
yeah, and the Neshoba Board of Health, they have Pfizer up in Air, but I think you guys heard that we're done with their first vax clinics. They're just doing the second vax. So, all right. Any other questions or comments for the members?
I just have a comment. I don't know if you folks really want to follow this, but the World Health Organization and other comparable organizations around the world have agreed to adopt a new nomenclature for the variants. So the latest variant that's coming out of India, I think, is called Delta. It's alpha, beta, whatever. So using the Greek alphabet now instead of the elaborate numbers that made it sound like a football sketch. So the Delta is predominantly in India, and it's spreading. It's the dominant one now in the UK. So any of you planning a trip to the UK or Europe may want to think twice. It is already arrived here. The good news is that both of the vaccines used materials, the Moderna and the Pfizer, are more than adequate to, shall we say, prevent, suppress the spread of that variant as well, even though it's something like, I think it's 40 times more contagious, or it's a bad one, and you don't want to get it. You're going to get sick if you're not vaccinated. So if you have any ideas about getting vaccinated, if you have any reluctance about it, this is another selling point, because when this virus creeps further into the US, the chances of you getting it on your travels around anywhere go up if you're not vaccinated.
So get vaccinated, everybody.
Yes, be anti-Delta at the very least. There you go. It's a little slogan.
All right. Kevin or Gino, any comments at all?
No, thank you. Thank you. I hope that I hope that we don't have any more problem next year.
Yeah, I guess, Mike, I have a question for you. I guess we're vaccinated, but July 1st was our lowest numbers last year.
Right.
And I guess because we're being vaccinated, we're not thinking that it's going to go up or anything like that after.
There's no evidence.
Mm-hmm.
We would be seeing something quite different. We would see a very different picture. We'd see testing results. We would see a lot more. Now, the vaccine works.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, we've plowed this ground enough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great summer, and fall, maybe we worry, but.
Yeah. Okay.
Summer.
All right. Moving along. Any public comments? Anybody have their hands raised at all? Nope. Okay. And then the last thing, approval for the minutes of the June 2nd meeting.
Oh,
Make a motion to
excuse me. I'm sorry. Was there a letter, and I think you and Janet have to indicate whether or not it's any of our business, but wasn't there a letter from from a group that was interested in bees. Did I miss? Is that right? The pollinator.
The pollination.
Pollinator, yeah, I think there's a warrant on the town.
Right, but I thought they sent us a letter wanting something. No?
I think it was just forwarding information. They sent it to all the boards.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was just propaganda for bee stings.
It was, well, it's unable to, I see it's unable to attach a copy of the pollinator-friendly resolution. When using the email from the town site, attaches a copy. If you would share it, I would greatly appreciate it. And it's article, it doesn't say what number, they must have left it off. To see if the town will vote to approve the following resolution to declare the town of Littleton to be a pollinator-friendly community or act in relation therefore. Hold on a second. My town. It doesn't say what article it is.
It's on the
though.
warrant. Yeah, it's on the warrant. There's some information in their letter. I sort of wondered what they were, whether or not they were promoting bee pollination or were they anti-pesticide. I couldn't decide.
Article 38, it says to see if the town will vote to approve the following resolution to declare the town of Littleton to be a pollinator-friendly community and act in relation thereto, declaring. Yeah, do you guys mind pulling up your, yeah, I think it's just that it's going to be on the town warrant.
I'd be in support of being a pollinator-friendly community.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, it says the select board motion moved and seconded by the board of selectmen, select board, that the town vote to approve Article 38 is printed in the warrant. The select board took no action on the recommendation of this article, so.
Yeah, if you attended the select board meeting, they didn't feel the select board should be in a position to approve or disapprove interest like this.
Did you want me to read them all out, everybody, or
No.
did you guys? No.
No.
Okay. All right. If you guys have your town warrant,
Yeah,
town meeting report, it is Article 38. If you want to read that, citizens petition resolving. So, if you guys want to read that, all right.
Motion to support Article 38.
I haven't read it yet.
Well, I think there's another article in there you may want to bring to our members' attention because
37, right?
it has basically a lot to do with us.
Yeah.
And that's, I think it's now Article, 36 or 37?
Yeah.
Look under the one that says that that the town is going to be voting to form a new department.
mhm.
That our article, I
Correct.
think 35,
35.
that land use department.
That's correct.
Yep. So that's ours.
Okay.
Yeah, and 36 is renaming the highway department, and then soil removal, earth removal, and then 38 is the pollinator friendly community.
should we formally support our own article before town meeting?
Well, since we voted for it,
We already have.
Okay.
we already have. I don't think we can do much more except pound on the table.
All right. All right. Anything else tonight, gentlemen?
Minutes, please.
Oh yeah. Approve the minutes for June 2nd. Can I get a
Motion. to approve.
I make a motion to accept.
All right, I think Kevin beat you to it, Gino, tonight.
Sorry, Gina.
No problem.
I need a second,
I second.
and we'll do it by roll call. Kevin Baker,
Kevin Baker, yes.
Gino Fratelloni,
Gino Ferraro, yes.
Dan Kane,
Dan Kane, yes.
Mike Zeldin,
Mike Selden, yes.
And Lisa Flanagan, yes. Everybody I can't go to town meeting. Mike, you're gonna be there?
Yep.
Is our vice chair gonna be there?
Be there.
I'll be there too. Not to worry.
It's outside again this year, right? Yep, Alumni Field. on
Except for
Saturday.
Gino. For Gino, it's going to be inside.
What's the weather gonna be like for Saturday? I haven't looked.
It's gonna rain for Mike, but it's gonna be beautiful for Gino.
It's going to be nice.
Wear your sunscreen and a hat and bring some water, but go to town meeting, Alumni Field on Saturday, June 12th at 9, starts at 9.
I'll bring two bottle of water. one for
74,
Mike,
it's
one for
beautiful, 74 degrees, partly sunny, so. All right,
you.
do we have a motion to adjourn? Does anybody have anything
I'll
else?
make a
to
motion
add?
to adjourn.
Does
Make a
anybody else
motion
have
to
anything?
adjourn twice.
Is everybody else set? Anybody have anything to add before we?
No,
Okay, so
Better not.
Gino's made a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
We'll do
I
roll
beat you,
call. Kevin Baker,
Kevin Baker, yes.
Gino Fratelloni,
yes.
Dan Kane,
Yes.
Ken Kane, yes.
Mike Zeldin.
Mike Sullivan, yes.
Great.
Mike, I'm gonna bring an extra bottle for you.
Good night, gentlemen. Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Next meeting,
2 weeks.
Janet, help me, the
Okay.
23rd. Actually, I won't be around on the 23rd, so Kevin, you want to run it? You're going to be able to run this as
I'll
the
be there.
vice?
Sure.
Okay. So do you send it to both of us, Janet? The correspondence and everything for the next 2 weeks? All right.